Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Ricey, and welcome to Quest for Wealth. Today, this video will tackle the 5 to-dos in order for you to accumulate wealth. So, the first one is to get out of debt. The second one is to have an expense plan for the year. Third is to have an investment plan for the year or even for a short term, mid term, and long term. Fourth one is to have one credit card, and the fifth one is to never use your debit card. So let's get on to it. The first one, which is to get out of debt. Understanding how much money you pay on interests on the various debts that you may have today as you watch this video is crucial to accumulating wealth. There are various kinds of debts that you can possibly imagine that people are into. There's the personal debt or personal loans, car loans, mortgages, credit card debts, student loans, line of credit even, and so on and so forth. So having a record or a file on how much debt you actually have, initially how much the amount of money you had there, and how much interest you pay on each and every month on all of these debts, on specific debts, and the percentage of how much these interests are. If you are able to understand how much of your money goes into paying the interest, you'll be astonished because this amount of money could have been used to better establish your financial status. So have that file, organize that file, and understand and evaluate how much money you're spending on interest, and truly have it in your head that you have to pay those debts as fast as possible. You have to do it in the fastest way possible. If you have to cut your Tim Hortons spending on that unbelievably sweet cappuccino, just don't buy a Tim Hortons coffee. Don't buy the new shoes. Don't buy new gadgets. Understand your debts. Pay it off as fast as possible. That's very important and fundamental. Second one is to have an expense plan. So what I do every end of the year or beginning of the year, either December or January, I fill out a template which I have already developed over the years. I have a template, an Excel template, wherein I do have all the categories or segments of expenses that I have, such as groceries. I have the utility bills, the water and electricity bills. I have my insurance bills, the property taxation bills, etc., etc., and absolutely the car insurance, of course, and the house insurance. Now, I have a slightly different situation because I do not have mortgage. I bought my property in cash, and I bought my car in cash. So how to purchase your property or your house in cash, that's a totally separate video, because it's a quite a procedure. It's quite an endeavor to reach that destination, but nevertheless. So going back, I do have this file wherein I fill it out. So I have the months of January, February, March up until December. And all these months, I already forecast the amount of money that I will have to spend on groceries, on hobbies, or on fitness, on my gym, on clothing, on various other things. Now, you have to understand that you have to focus on the necessities. Focus on the necessities. There are expenses that are not necessary, really. For example, your gadgets, new gadgets. Is it really necessary for you to have or to purchase new gadgets every year? The last gadget I purchased was back in 2000 and I cannot even remember. It was back in 2017. It was almost 3-4 years ago, and I did not even spend money on it. It was a freebie because I had a contract and I just had to finish my contract for a year, and the gadget was for free. So there are various things that you have to truly evaluate and understand what are the necessities and what are the expenses that are not necessary. Is it really necessary for you to purchase new clothing every month? Is it really necessary for you to buy the Tim Hortons vanilla cappuccino every day or every week, or that pearl milk chai tea every single month? I know these are only $3 or $2 per purchase, but then you accumulate that over months and weeks and days. You'll be surprised. It'll go into hundreds. So the basic idea is to have an expense file. On your expense plan, have an understanding on what are the necessary ones and the unnecessary ones. Do not forget incidentals. Incidental is very important. It's fundamental because you want to have you definitely have to have a cushion, because there are emergency expenses that you did not expect. So you have to have that a little bit of cushion, so somehow to cover that expense. Now we come on our third part, or third item, if I may say, credit card. Credit card. What a beautiful word. For some people it is, for some people it is not. Because a lot of people truly get indebted because of credit cards. Some people would have 2, 3, 4, 5 credit cards. What do you need 5 credit cards for? Jeez, don't do it. By having more than one credit card, really, you're just making the banks richer than ever, and they're just you are allowing them to suck the life out of you. See, credit card is a good concept. It's a really good piece of plastic that you should have every single day in your life, but you have to have discipline. You have to have discipline. Now, we have already tackled the necessities, the basics of expenses. Now, if you would really like to provide yourself or to give yourself some sort of a gratification by buying that nice, sweet vanilla cappuccino from Tim Hortons, do so. But please don't do it on a regular basis. Not on a regular basis. Once every 4 months or 3 months is sufficient, I believe so. And plus, sweets are not this. It's not good for your health, so stay away from those kinds of drinks. Anyhow, credit card payment automation. This is what I would like to inform you. Automate the payment of your credit cards. So that in that way you do not have to think, or you do not have to put in your calendar that on this day you have to pay your credit card, and then you forget about it, and then you have to pay an interest, you have to pay a late fee, and there are so many other fees entangled with the paying late. So automate the payment of your credit card. But with automating the payment of your credit card, do not forget to look and evaluate the statement, the credit card statement every month. That's fundamental, because by evaluating your credit card statement, then you realize and evaluate how much money you spend on various other things. And with that evaluation, you will get a ding in your head that, oh, I spent so much on clothing? Really? Why did I spend so much on clothing? I spent so much on shoes. Why on earth did I pay that much for a shoe? And then by evaluating your expenses, then you would truly understand where you have to cut back on and where exactly you should spend more on. So that's credit card payment automation. And please, for the love of God, do not, as much as possible, it doesn't make sense to have more than one credit card. Just have one credit card. If you have a partner or a spouse, or you have kids, just have one credit card and just have the rest of your family be on supplementary. In that way, you have one statement to look at every month, and that from that one statement, you are able to better evaluate how much money you spend on various things, and realize really if the expenses you had were necessary or unnecessary. So just one credit card and put everybody else on supplementary as much as possible. Have all your payments, all the bills that you could pay with a credit card, pay everything using that one credit card. And yeah, you'll be surprised how much organized you can be with just having to look at one statement every end of the month, or every 15th of the month, depending on how you're set up there, and pay it 100% every single end of statement, 100%, so you don't waste money on interest payments. Now we have come to the fourth one on the 5 basic things to do in order for you to accumulate wealth. The fourth one here is the use of debit card. Now, well, actually, my take on it is to never use your debit card, because using your debit card essentially means using your cash. It's the same as using your cash to pay for merchandise. And why would you do that? The reason that you have a credit card is for you to use your credit card and accumulate points. If you use your debit card, then you're just taking your cash to pay for a certain bill or a certain merchandise, whereas in fact, you can take that cash and invest it in order for you to grow your wealth. So that's the fourth one. It seems to be a more of a common sense for everyone or for most people, but if you realize it or evaluate it, there are still people who use their debit cards, even in groceries. When I go to supermarkets, I still see people who use debit cards. I know people personally who use debit cards when they pay for certain purchases or bills or merchandises. It just, it doesn't make so much sense. Now, if you do not have a credit card, maybe it's about time you get one, right? Have one credit card. You don't have so much of a high limit there. You can have $2,000 or up to $3,000 limit, so that in that way you also have that discipline to spend only so much because you have a certain limit. Nevertheless, do not use or refrain using your debit card. Debit card is only for. And we have reached the fifth item of the 5 basic to-dos in order for you to accumulate wealth faster, hopefully. The fifth one is fundamental, and this is investment plan. You have to plan your investment. You cannot just receive your income or your salary or your commission every month and just spend it on that Tim Hortons vanilla super sweet cappuccino. No, you have to have an investment plan. So, what is the best way to do it? The best way to do it is to automate your investment. So, every 2 weeks or every fortnight, automatically, as soon as you receive your income or your salary or commission, whatever your source of income is, automatically a certain percent or certain amount of your income should be deducted from your account and automatically allocated to your investments. So how I do it is every fortnight. That's how we get or we receive our salary here in Canada. Every fortnight, I receive my salary. I work in sales, so I do have my commission as well. So whenever I receive my commission and my salary, automatically 50% of my salary goes to my investments. I do have a certain percentage on my investments, and these are, and I'll tell you, 70% of my investments are on property, 10% are on tax-free or tax-deferred savings account, 20% are on stocks, and most of these stocks really are are on index funds. So that's essentially how my investment plan goes. Um, it is it's very fundamental. It's fundamental for you to know to use up your contribution room on your tax-free or tax-deferred savings account, because you have the benefit of having it tax-free. So whatever you invest in that investment account, whatever you earn on that account, it's all tax-free. And you know, in this day and age, nothing is more certain than death and taxes. Now, death is something you definitely can get out of. Taxation is, there's no way you can get out of it. For Canadians, we are taxed on our income around the world. So even if we go to another country, or to probably not into another parallel universe, but wherever we go, we are taxed. So that's the whole essence of it. Use up your tax-free or tax-deferred savings account, investments accounts, and then you can automate as well the investments on non-registered savings account. I know all of this might seem a little bit of a jargon. Some of the terms might be a bit of jargon. Some of you may say it's not. It's totally normal for you to hear it. In the future, I shall create a video which is much more specific on how I contribute and explore and exploit all the tax-free and tax-deferred savings account and invest in the stock market. Again, the stock market is not the only avenue that you can use to invest. Some people are afraid of it, some people are hesitant about it, some people are doubtful. If you're doubtful, fearful, or hesitant, try to understand it. Don't close your mind to it, because there's a lot of opportunities there. But do not, for the love of God, do not put all your eggs in one basket. Invest on stocks, invest on properties, invest on other businesses. Probably there would be startup businesses that will require your capital, but you have to understand the model and the nature of that business first. Yeah, so those are the 5 basic things you should do, the to-do list, in order for you to accumulate wealth faster. Thank you for watching this video. Again, let's all come together for the quest for wealth, and I shall see you on the next video. Bye.